On that clever ability, oh, that clever ability, that clever ability. I see what that clever ability.
Good evening, good morning to Liberia. Good evening to USA. I am Afonso Zeyenso of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. What an evening here. It's unusual one here with this sort of unexpected one that unleashed and the Capitol Hill in Grangeda County. One of the funniest, Erol Madison Gwion, District Number 1 representative, just got re-elected. Did not have the opportunity to be inducted into office. The cool hands of death. Hit it. I am Afonso Zeyenso, of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners. Anthony Gate, if you're around, just send us a link. I remember I had an interview. You work on the campaign here. Just text me your email if you want to join the analysts here this evening. So we're going to do that. So we want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Afonso Zeyenso of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Today's editions of LPR-TV Live with the panelists. It's a special dedication to one of the funniest, a young man who was so inspirational and menacing as the gateway to modern civilization, to democracy, and free world. The late Erol Madison Gwion. Late evening yesterday, the news surfaced and went explosive on the social media. For us here at the Liberia Public Radio, our prayers and thought goes out to the bereaved family, the Capitol building, the first branch of government, the people of District Number 1, the people of Grangeda County, and the people of the Republic of Liberia. And that of the young generation that I admire so much this man for all that he has done and standing out for what he believes, the principles of mankind. This is the building he formerly worked. Privileged to meet him, to interview him, and all of that right here on this network. I'll be glad if Mr. Gate, if you want to also join us here. Very shortly, the analyst is going to be here, and we're going to be having this sort of conversation here. What happens and what next? How can we move forward as a people, as a nation, and as a county? Following the demise of Erol Madison Gwion to Representative District Number 1, to Grangeda County, Republic of Liberia, Chien District to be specific, violence broke out. We want to condemn in the strongest terms This is uncalled for. This is unrealistic. This is unreasonable. In modern society, there is a process if people want to express their anger. This is a clear indication how divided we are as a nation, as a people, and as a country. This is no unique. The politics of Africa and that of Liberia is glaring as to how we are behaving and how things has been done. Should they have been avoided, we are not here to shift blame or to point out to say it is this person's responsibility. We do not close with our authority to say that. All we want to say as a responsible to network and people that intercede with exchange of communication to the citizenry and its people is to call for kind. And let the law enforcers or people that are in authority close with decision making take charge. We try placing call to the county superintendent and the police commander as to how this thing escalated and what went wrong, hopefully. And we are hearing that another life suicide was committed. Why should this be this way? Is this politics? Is it because of politics? Or is it because of the lack of political tolerance that we have been seeing from time to time consistently and repeatedly being exhibited, either by the politicians themselves or their supporter? So where is the disconnect in this place? I got to know the young man in Ghana. He contested, I believe, was a grand jury Bunubura or university or some organizations. Very smart, inspirational figure. His journey began at that point, and that's crossed over to his country with the sole purpose to impact the young generations and to give voice. He's a mentor. Yeah, he's a teacher. He taught people. So there is a unique side of this guy with a profession. Just want to buy elections and went for re-elections to perhaps serve his full term, which of course massive, a big win. Unfortunately, the cold hands of death snatching, he never had the opportunity to be conducted of serve his full term as representative of District Number 1, Gwion County, Republic of Liberia. Very media friendly, eloquent, that he can articulate his own view, his own objection, very stewards and firm in his decision making. During his political maritimes, I had an opportunity to reach out to the late Madison Gwion. I never thought of calling this sort of to add this sort of name on it later. This is not what I predicted or foresee coming so quick, so fast. I thought I would have had the opportunity again to have a conversation, because for every time you have a conversation with the late Madison Gwion, something new surfaces, something different is unearthed in terms of the sort of conversation that is being kept. Unfortunately, that seems not to be the case. What a night, what an evening here. We reached out to him during his early days of his political quest. Even when he was outcast of one of the founding political parties of which he was member of, CDC, he stand firm and he said, I'm going to go as an independent. His support base was broadened from inside Liberia and in the diaspora to USA, Europe, and other parts of the world. Young generations surface for his courage and his determination to forge ahead with the sole purpose to serve his constituent, the first branch of government, and the Republic of Liberia. With the limited resources, he never held back. He was always making himself available to tell his narrative, to explain himself why he wanted to be. Try to reach out to the COS this evening, today, Justin around the clock, who is the COS of the late Madison Gwion. He formerly volunteered for the Liberia Public Radio as well. What a tough evening here. Wow. Oh, what a society. The Liberal Progressive is joining me from Saxton, Sacramento, and the rest of the analysts. The link is all out there. You can also join this conversation as well. So we're going to be opening the phone lines here as well to get reaction from Liberians, Grenadians, and those that follow all, wherever you are. So let me just bring in the Liberal Progressive, Samson Blocko Brown Toll. After all of the tabatat last night, but hopefully tonight we're going to have a different conversation. The Liberal Progressive, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. So. Thank you for having us again tonight.
Good to have you here. Okay, I didn't see, there was no any slide. I didn't see this sort of conversation we are about to have yet at any point in time that we could find ourselves in this conversation. That's the task involved in this business here, be it good or bad. You are obligated to provide a narrative, to have a conversation, to make the public to know what is happening. This is not what I anticipated. Welcome to the show. Look, let me get a reaction first on the demise of the late Erol Madison Gwion, represented District Number 1 to Grange County, Republic of Liberia, one of the funniest of the district, young in the sense that as compared to those that are in the place, I see him as was a voice, one of the strongest voices, believing in what he was doing.
Yeah, Mr. So, thank you very much. We also express our sympathy to the family and the bereaved family, that is, and the entire Judea community, because this is one of the side movement for all of us, because to have a young man be snatched from us by the cold hand of death is very unsettling and also very much depressing, to be honest with you. But what I do know from my own perspective in life, and I've seen a lot, but most of the time, those who help to formulate a process or an event that is eventually going to liberate the people or bring them to a certain level, those people, when they gain of their struggle as becoming fruitful and what have you, they usually don't stay around to see and enjoy the fruit of their labor.
Right.
This young man, I never met him, but I've heard a lot about him when he was in Ghana. My understanding was, even as he was teaching, he made the subject matter so interesting to those refugee children in Ghana that many of them said they're going to go to school instead of being in the street, because the way the professor, who is the teacher, Erol Malzi, the way he explained or the way he lectured on the program or whatever it is he's teaching, it really incites those young people. And I think to have that young man to be snatched away like this is very painful. One other last thing I want to say on this here. Those of us that consider ourselves political junkie, we follow politics, whatever in Grand Judea, Nimaka, it doesn't matter what there. But at one time, he was snapped by CDC. And he decided that he was going to go independent. Not with understanding now that he is one of those founding members of CDC in Ghana. Okay, so he's not far removed from CDC and the CDC way of doing business. Having had the opportunity to win, going for the time now that he's going to be serving his own term, because he served the remaining term of Zopeno, Honorable Zopeno. So after winning, before going in, we thought that he was going to remain independent, but he decided he was going to go on and be part of CDC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so that's Mr. So. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me,
No, go ahead. I'm trying to do something. Go ahead. I'm just trying to do some work. Go. Yeah. Carry on.
yeah. I have something going on with my camera.
Okay.
I want to just excuse myself a minute, please.
You show the camera or something? Hey, I know
And
you.
the wife telling me she want to do something quick.
Okay. Well, so we're going to be opening the phone lines as well to get your reaction. But like I said, during the heat of the election, he's a media-friendly guy, and his activities to engage the media, no matter to where you are, as long as you're connected to internet services, he never relented. He was always willing to make his side, to tell his side of the story. And young folks who supported his initiative when he declared. Remember, Ty, he's one of the founding members of the CDC. And it was a painful story that he had here to explain here. When then Nathaniel Fowler Magee, then the former Minister of State, now Senator-elect from Mount Gibi County, according to Erol, the late Madison Gwion, they asked him not to contest. And he said, okay, so be it, but I'm going to go as an independent. He didn't back down. We had a conversation right here on the Diaspora Informative News Network. And we get these records in our archive, in our file, courtesy of Liberia Public Radio. It all started with his communication spokesperson, and who is now serving as the COS Chief of Office Staff, a veteran, young, smart, respectful gentleman. My last trip to Liberia, he came over, we sat, we had a lunch, we did everything together. Never had a slightest thought that I would sit here today to have this sort of conversation. Yeah. So the group appear right here on the Liberia Public Radio with the sole purpose to promulgate the vision, the beliefs, his political ideology, who he is and what he represents, and what he hopes. And his own ordeal to get to this point. His team was here. So, Liberal, if you're ready, just signal me and I will get you on here as well. Liberal, are you ready? Okay, so let me just bring you on here. Okay, so yeah, carry on, and then I'm going to bring this interview. I'm going to bring you to. Remember, we had a conversation here, and we know we try to keep these things in archive here, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. As I was saying, some of us. And let me just poke a little fun. Some of us come on these platforms and we claim to be. So why am I getting okay? We claim to be big shot with big mouth and thing. While I was on air with you, the wife came, called it off something on. I have to shut down. I got no choice, Mr. So. You far away from me. If I say no right now, she throw my thing outside. What time you come from? Way from Rhode Island to pick me up. So, but anyhow, let's go back to the program. Thank you for that. On a very serious note, this is a sad thing because there were so many young people, the like of Thomas Collins, former president of Grand Association. They all rallied around this young man, despite being shunned away by CDC. He didn't waver. He didn't say, oh, sedition, they saw how suffering I did and all these kinds of stuff. Now you don't want me anymore. He didn't complain. He campaigned. He campaigned all by himself with the help of few friends and the Liberian and the Ghanaian diaspora that was supporting him. And he was successful. Now, after that, some of us that followed that, I was under the impression he's not coming by to join CDC because of what CDC had done to him. So he's not going to, but he's never like that. He's always peaceful, always peaceful. And he joined CDC and ran on CDC ticket. Of course, he won. One other incident, the internal minister, the internal affairs minister went to Grand County at one time, and it was on tape. While they were having the discussion with the superintendent of Grand County, tried to disrupt or whatever it was, but Madison was not having it. But he stayed within a confine of respect, and the fact he recognized, he said, Superintendent, right now I'm upset, but you are our leader. I will not go anything beyond that. You are the superintendent of Gwion. It doesn't matter if I'm upset. I will respect that office and I will respect you. You and I are going to have a conversation. But this is not something that I want to do. And he was very kind. I watched that video and I was thinking to myself, wow, what a brilliant young man. Now we're talking about this man being passing away. That's very sad.
He's not a god. He's not a god of vengeance. Despite of that, they came back to him, and he was consolatory because he knew who he was, what he believes in, and he's still trying his will. He didn't say, "I'm going to be like the Israeli to pay back." He was very consolatory, and that's how politicians behave. Not these overnight grown politicians like some of you guys. They do little thing and then you carry on and carry on. It was just within a sprint time. But let's take a look here at when his team in the diaspora and his campaign communication chief, who is known as the COS, Justin Surrender Clark, who also volunteer services here on the Liberia Public Radio. They did appear here on that. Let's take a look here in the conversations. I believe Liberal was also there. So let's have this conversation. Let's bring them in here.
Answer to this question because the qualification is relative. Perhaps he has got his own details and ethics when it comes to qualification. So I think he needs to state that.
And lastly, like I said, your campaign head who also contested for this position, Justin Surrender Clark, is also joining us here, is here already. But the last time you appear on this network, you left it hanging that you are going through the processes or the process involved. Now the cat is out of the bag. What is the alternative?
Well, to be frank, I remain a sedition. And the fact that my ambition is still alive.
How can you remain a sedition and when you already most likely out of the oh, I think the Liberal really going to have a talking point here this evening because he forecasted this year long time, and I seen overlooking Professor Zablo here. That's going to be another hell on this evening here. Okay, I'm having problem. Let me go to Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark, are you there? Mr. Clark, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you. It's better. I can hear you now.
Okay. I got Madison on hold here. You are the campaign chair. This is what we are hearing from the expiring himself. What is going on now within the world of the campaign? From what I'm hearing, Jeremiah Sokan seems to be the favorites of the establishment. He's calling back here, so just bear with me. Let me see whether I can get him on. It's kind of difficult when you go into video, audio, and that of Okay, Mr. Gwion, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna put these guys on hold. Okay, so you say are you still a sedition? You say?
Yes, I'm still a sedition.
Are you going to contest as a sedition, Kennedy?
The issue of contesting whether as a sedition or not does not resonate in this manner. What we do know is that the manner and form in which the party has come to declare it is not sufficient enough to tell us that instead of the chairman or the hierarchy of the party stating their position, it should rather be a minister of government. And so what we chose to do is do a sedition, but whenever election bells have been rung, we're going to pick it up independently. And we still see that there could be a room wherein wherever mistake coming from can be straightened up. This is why we are saying we still a sedition for now. Because if you will bear with me, it is not clear as to whether CDC has come to officially announce this guy, or Nathaniel McGay is playing the game, or whether Chairman Molu is in the know of what exactly is unfolding. So we are telling them now that whatever the case may be, we are not prepared to bury our ambition, neither to be prepared in a situation that we can ignore or turn down the call of our people. So the best we can do for this time is not to automatically decide a position, but whatever we can do in our own reach is to go independent in the meantime.
And I don't mean to.
We've seen it before.
Yeah, I don't mean to pour words in your mouth here or shove something down your throat. But I'm quite understand that time is also running out. Time is of essence in the game of politics. So you have to meet up with the requirements with the National Elections Commission, where your political identity or ambition has to be established. So in this event, you are caught between the role. You're still a sedition. We are hearing from you. Higher up within the rank and file of CDC now is Reverend Jeremiah Sokan. So if NEC were to call you in today to submit your founder credentials, what sort of label or stigma will you put on that?
Well, I don't see it to be a kind of a negative label. If NEC is ready, I'm also ready to go independent, like I said. It's possible that CDC will be able to understand her own position being in the wrong to decide not to put forth a candidate. And perhaps after the election, they're going to come after the victor of the election, who's going to be Honorable Erol Madison Gwion Sr., seeing whether it's possible to come back home or will remain apart.
So, the final result now
Oh boy, the Liberal Progressive. Are you hearing me?
That's just to show you.
That was E. Madison, the late E. Madison Gwion we had
Right.
here. That's part of that sort of political humiliation. He didn't give up. He was still stable. He was not unstable. He was not unbalanced. Right? Are you not familiar with those boys?
Mr. So, the young man, I mean, just listening to that interview is a very serious, hurtful situation for all of us. The fact that we all knew that CDC did not back him. And we also knew that CDC controls Grand Gwion County. And for Grand Gwionians, that was a very interesting dynamic for Grand Gwionians to turn your back on the person whose hand was raised by CDC hierarchy and pick Madison. That showed that Madison did his homework. Not only did he do his homework, but that he also understood the Grand Gwion sedition, that when it comes to the issue of picking their own, someone who was banging the trenches with them, it is very easy for them. So I think he understood that. And if you listen to that, he said, Madison Sr. will be, and if CDC feel that I have what they take for them, they can come back and they will bring me back home. Pretty much, I'm just paraphrasing. But if you listen to that, that was very interesting prediction on his part. And I thought that was also a wonderful thing to do.
Right, actually, and they did that though, and they went back home. That's the late Erol Madison Gwion. He projected himself. Let me just take this guy here. He projected himself as the sort of people that represent the young generation, and he was always in a sort of active, progressive mood in terms of what he wants to do. I remember when he had we had an interview. He started with this. I said, "But the CDC said you're no longer going to be part of them. What are you using?" Well, let's watch it. After that interview, that was in October, his campaign kicked off, courtesy of his supporters, fans. His campaign kicked off, and watch and see the sort of a rising welcome by this guy that he received in Zulu Whiskey. That's the capital of Nzwadu is the capital of Grand Gwion. That's Zulu Whiskey. You been there before? You know Zulu Whiskey? The Liberal.
Yeah. Why? Anyway, let's go ahead.
I'm asking. We're having a conversation. Have you been there before?
I know Zwedru. I grew up in Zwedru.
Call 2 streets in Zwedru. 2. That you know.
Thomas Boulevard.
What kind of boulevard?
Thomas Boulevard.
You don't even know the planning. Okay, let's go back here. I gotta mess with him. Let's see here. Let's watch this here and see. So, let me just start this here. That was the late Erol official launch here. I mean, he captured the imaginations and brought the city to a standstill, which was clear evident that he was presumptive winner in that. Here we are today. He did not complete what he wanted to do. He didn't.
No. And he told us at one of the interviews he had that he had too many things that he has promised. And the reason why he was seeking to be re-elected, so to speak, for the actual 6 years, because he had things he wanted to do. However, he said, I told the people what I wanted to do, and the people knew that I started that process. Do you know that this man promised certain amount of his salary towards the developmental agenda of his district? And the district were using some of that money to build street in his district. So the people knew exactly that this
he kept his promise when he won out, not to interrupt you, when he won out by election, he kept his promise.
Yes. And because of that, the young people, his support was not hollow like some of the people, you know, and I don't want to go politics right now, but his support base was not hollow. It was solid. It was grassroots. It was kids that he taught in Ghana. It was kids that when he came to Gwion to say the same vigorous and involvement that I have in Ghana on your behalf, it's the same thing that I want to bring here in Gwion. And so when the opportunity came, he went to it and took over, and the people accepted him. And the second, he won. So this young man, the late Madison, was not somebody to say that Johnny come lately. He knew his strength, he knew his support base, and he engaged those people effectively, Mr. Searle.
And I think his big win, remember, when he won that by-election, he was literally going against the establishment, because Jeremiah Gao-Sokan then was the guy CDC put forward, but he had a very decisive win. So what that does, he solidified his political grip on Gwion. So CDC realized that and said, hey, you know what? Like he said, like he alluded in the interview, he said, well, let's see how I play out. When no matter what, I will still remain sedient. He didn't walk away. He didn't walk out. He didn't denounce his membership. I'm not sure whether I can do it or you can do it. You do? You want to do that?
It means something to CDC treat me like that. I kick CDC on the curve. Before the day was over, I would not let the people, these sedition, they do that.
So you see, that's the difference, because you do not have the political tolerance it takes.
Whatever. Well, I'm just telling you why.
He said he was not going to denounce his membership. And when
here's the interesting thing, Mr. So, about CDC that I know. Once a sedition will always be sedition. So all of that thing, Ambassador Baka say, oh, y'all cannot put your hand together, and you don't know how to bring the smart sedition with you, they will wreck you, because once there's a sedition,
no. Okay, you know what? You are trying to derail this conversation here because
I'm just coming to you. I said,
hey. No. That's a very divisive.
Mr. So we're talking about divisive CDC that turn your back on the man who is one of the founding members, and you said I'm divisive. I'm just saying I'm divisive.
Yeah, he was indivisive, but you also admitted that.
But I'm telling you
the distinction with you
CDC on the curve, and I will be bad. I will not even be bothered with CDC, because CDC, they know very well. This man came back from Ghana, and the people knew his credential. He was involved in the 2017 election. He was involved in running. They knew who this man is. And then when the time came, they decided to flip him. And he decided, because he's a very smart person, was a very smart person, he knew very well his support base. So he decided, I will teach CDC in this Grand Gila County. This is not Monrovia.
So why are you going out of breath for now?
Because you getting me all work out of this thing.
Yeah. That's a different. You guys are so intolerant. Every little thing get under your skin, and they go like a Coca-Cola when you know you can't even go anywhere. That's the uniqueness that makes him. That's how his own politics is far from removed from some of you guys. One little thing here, he said, hey, he trusted himself, he confided himself, he believes in his political strength. No matter how I'm treated, I am not going to denounce my identity. Eventually, they will come when they need me. That's exactly what happens.
Yes, Mr. So, and sadly for CDC, this is about the second time, as far as I'm concerned, from my perspective, that they have lost two of the most, as far as I'm concerned, important member of CDC.
But in as much he did that, he was very calculative in his talking point, though. He did not just generalize. He was very specific who people he felt that were playing this song.
Yeah, but those are the CDC that were running CDC. They like Monuba Molu, they like McGill. They were the people that were running CDC. They were picking and choosing. And one of the things, you see, this is what the late Leroy Madison taught CDC. You can't stay in Monrovia and think that people in Grand Gila don't know what they want because you CDC and you decide you want to pretty much impose the candidate on the people of District 1. And they rejected that.
So what he did, he defied conventional wisdom. But then yesterday, when the news broke of the demise of Erol Madison Gwion, the history, the Zulu whiskey that we knew, was lawlessness in the city. Which is required by all means today, courtesy by as a young gentleman that were in the street. Let's play this here and just grab some of the images that came from Zulu whiskey today. To view a description advice.
The building, have been, destroyed by angry crowd this morning, where the fresh building, Kula Bypass community was burned down, was set ablaze, it was burned to ashes. And this is the newly constructed building, by Senator Zoe Emmanuel Penun. This is it. You can see the entire compound, see the fence all around the building, and it have been said, let me say, it have been destroyed. That you can see the glasses, his name was called, but a witchcraft who to information who bewitch the representative that is now dead and gone. So you can see we will be taking a tour a bit. Like I told you, this building is under construction. This one is still under construction. All of the buildings in here, they are all still under construction. Another bigger one is behind here that you can also see for yourself. It's still under construction. The painting process was ongoing, with the information all around the place, and angry crowd have to move to the place this morning and damage the entire glasses and the windows, the doors, and out of the area here this morning, folks. So keep posted. LB Honor Communication is here live. The name is D. Abraham Cooper Senior. I'm here making sure that we bring you all of the information right here this morning. Let's move around. We are moving, around.
Okay. This is what. Let me just stop this here. Okay. The liberal.
Yes.
This is this is the actions I'm far distant from. I don't agree with, and I don't think if Madison Gwion was even when he's still if that breath was still in him, that's not something he was going to support. He was going to call for calm. Yeah, sometimes people, emotions, perceptions. These are things that is very hard to be proven. So there was a lot of videos in circulation when people were drinking what I call whatever sasewu. But I wanted something else different who have been done to arrest the situation. But with this one here, if Erol was still alive, were he able to have taken like a bullhorn to speak to the crowd, he was going to tell them, say, this is not who I am. This is not what I represent.
That's right. I agree. I think if he was
and because I don't know how they allow for the train to derail to go the way it went. We try reaching out to Superintendent Kaifali, the police commissioner, who are it's because of maybe the crowd overpowered the security.
Yes.
Or they didn't see this. They didn't see this coming. Were they caught unaware? I don't know. Until we can get a definitive statement from the authority that we will be able to say precisely.
I don't want to speculate on the part of the authority and the security apparatus in Gwion County, but I think the emotion was very high. And when I saw that video, I quickly realized that this young man is no longer with us. Because if it was something that he had the power to speak, he most likely would tell the crowd not to do what he did. Because Mr. So, I'm going to wait and hold my judgment until all of the evidence come to play, and then I will pass my judgment as far as that incident is concerned. But it's very, very uncomfortable. It doesn't matter whether you agree with the leadership of not of Gwion County. Those are our leaders. They were elected. I don't agree with most of the thing almost Zoe panel will be.
Bobby, if you want to come, maybe just if you, I don't know, you want to do it by video or you want to come on the phone. Bobby, just throw your email out there and I can send you a link. I mean, these are young career ingredients, and these are something that they have a great share. So Bobby, just throw your email link there if you want to do it by video or you want to do it by phone. It's up to you. Just let me know. Go ahead, deliver.
No, as I was saying, Mr. Soul, even if I don't agree with Honorable Panel, this day and age where technology has taken over, we're going to go back into the 50s and try to dispense justice through emotional involvement as Gwion. This is something that is also unsettling as far as I'm concerned. Now, I don't know the entire conversation that happened, but to damage someone else's property because of, in a court of law, they will most likely consider it to be hearsay. Without you
send that to you right now
with the senator himself, and you're going to do this much damage. So does it mean if the senator was on ground, that crowd will be allowed to harm the senator, our senator? This is something that I think many Gwion need to take into consideration and think about it. While we mourn the death of Madison, this particular incident has no place. and must not have any place in the psyche of Grandians, in the political disposition of Grandia County. We all should respect each other. We have to disagree, and we must disagree, but we must do so with responsibility. We must do so with respect to one another. We have to respect each other right to express himself freely. So
yeah, okay. Just I'm trying to send a link to Bobby. Just carry on.
Leader, if you have issue, Zopeno is our leader. He can be approached. He is not far removed from all of us. So for people not to be able to have a conversation with almost Zopeno and go and damage property, why the people, family member living in your property was so scared, that is unacceptable as well, Mr. So.
Okay, Bobby, check. I'm sending this link to you, Bobby. Just check your link, and then you can join us here. Hopefully you get a link, but I just sent you the video link. Yeah, absolutely. You know, this thing has been breeding for a while, and this is a sort of circumstantial thing that is not something that you can really prove. But there's a video in circulation. People were even what should I call extrajudiciary, whatever. Let me see. Oh, people start calling out. Okay, you can call. Let me make sure the volume is on. People already started that. So I'm not sure whether enough was done that would have the situation arrested. I remember I reached out to even the senator, both of them, in fact, all of them, when he, what his name, Honorable Gwion was in his place. You know, the divide, that's not a justification here, but these are all symptoms of people building some sort of perception of how far they think or they do think here. Okay, Bobby is here with us. As soon as I'm watching, once the position I'm going to be bringing in. Okay, all right, let's bring in Bobby, Hillary, Bobby. Are you listening to something, Bobby?
No, I'm listening to you.
Oh, okay. Okay, good to have you here. Good evening. How you doing? Let me say upfront, deep condolences as a Grandian, young progressive, career person. This is something that we don't purpose to discuss, but here we are. That this is something we signed for, like you guys in the medical field as well. I don't care how ugly it is. It comes to you guys, and you also will have to handle it with professionalism. So good to have you here. Let's hear. Let me hear from you, Bobby. What was your instinct? This sort of news surface and seeing what is ongoing for today. What are you hearing right now on your end?
Well, thank you, Mr. So and Mr. To, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to come to be able to speak to our people and speak to the issues that is at hand. It is unfortunate. Grand Gwion County lost a towering figure in Mr. Erol Madison, who happens to be my cousin. And it is a sad thing. It is a sad event and unfolding in our county. You know, we are bereaved, we are mourning, but in the same vein, we have to exercise restraint. Grandians, people, we do not want to be seen as people like ruffian. We don't want to be seen as people that are living in the caveman age. We need to resolve our differences with calmness. We need to show civility when tensions arises. People need to not believe in the caveman era. Listen, I know that tensions are high. We love a very iconic figure. But in the same token, we need to approach this thing with civilized and civilization. Fighting, vandalism, destructions of life and property, they are antithetical to civility. And we can sit here, irrespective of our laws, for us to allow this kind of behavior.
Is it possible? Bobby, is it possible to make your device in a horizontal form to see whether if it's able to capture you? But if it can, that's fine. Is it possible to flip it on the other side and make it horizontal?
You are in the show, blah blah blah. I don't think I can do that.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't see that possibility. So we cannot allow our emotions to blur our rational thoughts. What happened to our dear lawman is unfortunate and sad. But for people to take the law, the jungle justice, in their hand to go and vandalize another man's property without tangible or tangible evidence, it is just insane. It is just insane. Our people need to calm down. Our people need to calm down. We lost a great and true sons. I got people calling, when we were in Liberia, going to school, yeah, our culture, our tradition, we respect our elders, we respect the paramount chief. These people that make decisions. But since I moved over here, people are trying to question, why am I injecting scientific evidence? I tell you what, my brother, that today I don't believe in what they call Sasewu. The reason I said that, even the Tylenol that we are taking, Tylenol, before Tylenol gets on the streets or get in the public arena, it takes 10 years from the time that medication was even brought to the surface to say they want to use it for pain. They will carry on all kinds of trial. But in our country, from the time I know that country, there hasn't been any one randomized trial or any systematic reviews or any cohort studies or any expert opinion beyond Sasewu. Yet, we are using Sasewu. We are using Sasewu to punish people. You tell me, how credible is that? When I wrote that, people say, "Oh my man, when you were in Tanzania, you didn't believe in Sasewu?" Yeah, that was when I was in Tanzania. But I'm asking my people to come up with something that is proven scientifically that we all can agree to in order to use Sasewu. I'm not on here tonight to support or back Zoe, Penu, whatsoever. But I'm just I'm just speaking to the incivility of our people. The caveman era, to go and vandalize this property without tangible evidence because these people had disagreement. Because today I have a disagreement with Mr. To or Mr. So. So because of that, if anything happens to Mr. So tomorrow, I am to be held or liable for speaking or saying something that is not right, or that because we have our disagreement. We're outcoming with any sufficient evidence, and you allow people to go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me hold you there. On the line here, joining me is one of our regular caller, Elvis. Elvis, good evening. Oh, hold on one second, Elvis. Hold on one second. Sorry, I didn't connect that. See what? Anytime something to on here is a problem. Elvis, are you there?
I'm here. You hear me?
Yeah, that's something to this guy. He want to start his total thing here. You want to be making power with people on the line who are expressing their views and stuff like that. He start again. He's not focused. He's going to be making power. Leave Mateta alone. Let people speak. This is some of the things we are talking about. Y'all want to be politicians. You don't have the temperament. This is ridiculous. Yeah. I'll put you under the bus right now. Okay, Ellis, let me just bring you in here. I guess you've been monitoring what is coming from inside Liberia to bring it account to respective ways, if you will. Let me get a quick reaction.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. So. Myself, as a Nigerian, I sympathize, with the whole county as a whole, and the people of Nigeria County. And people who ascribe what happened to him to the metaphysical, they have their reasons. Let's not forget where we come from. We know our people, we know how things work. And we also have a two-tier justice system, not two-tier, but a dual justice system in Liberia. We have our traditional justice system, and we have the quote-unquote civilized justice system. So while I don't condone the violent part of it, but we know our people always, quote-unquote, go check behind things when they happen. And they have means of understanding certain things that happen in the metaphysical, not in the physical way our eyes can see, but in the spiritual in that sense.
So wait a minute, Evan, you getting me into a little bit confused here. Of course. So are we running two separate forms of laws in the country? We must be applying the modern side or whatever constitutional side, and we should be applying the traditional side. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was kind of responding to our, I don't know if he's a doctor or nurse, our scientific, our medical professional there. Because the point is, you can't demean our people when you say they shouldn't believe in their traditional beliefs. And that's the point that I'm saying. I know we're in America and quote unquote become civilized, but we know that was the ends to a means where people can go behind things that is unexplainable in the physical sense and seek answers through metaphysical means, whether it's consulting with, the Bodios or whoever. But the point is, we, what they do when the violent part of it are destroying the man house that he built and whatever, it's the wrong part of it. But what they did to confirm that it was something that happened, not in the physical but in the spiritual, is well within the rights. We've been doing it for centuries.
So is that something? So is that something
ahead,
to be continued? Terry, good evening, welcome.
Welcome, Mr. So. Good evening to the panel.
African tradition.
So is that So yeah, African tradition. I know we have some traditions, but we also have laws which oversees everything. What happens?
And that's why I'm condemning the violence. I'm not condoning the violence.
But you seem to be putting a little bit close to it.
My only pushback was to the gentleman. I think his name is Bobby. Is that he's saying that we're not living in the caveman era, in essence, that what people should do away with the traditional. Thing.
No, well, I was speaking to the violence. The violence. The violence.
I think that's the violence he was thinking. Maybe he making some sort of comparison because people of yesterday, the people of medieval age, we can't be that same type of people of today in this sort of civilized 21st century we find ourselves in. Even if you did something wrong to me, not because you do it, I'm going to go back at you, then I'm going to be like, going to get myself into trouble with the law.
And that's fine, Mr. So. But the point is, our people are not going to transform into quote-unquote modern day thinking overnight. They still have.
So when would they? Okay, hold you there once. Hold you said that. Hold on there 1 second. You want to say something else before?
Yeah, let me finish my thought before I leave the line. The last part is, look, I'm a supporter of George Weah and I lean CDC.
No, that says George Weah CDC been out of the whole thing.
No, what I'm trying to say is the whole county-wide issue. This is the point that I'm making. I'm not in favor of the county leadership. Kai Filey, Zoe Manuel Penn, they've been acting like thugs in the county. They've been putting our wrong foot forward. There's been scrimmages of violence. There's been scrimmages of.
So, is there any other way that it could have been done differently? If you are not in support of that, is there any other way that it could have been avoided?
One of the things that I heard or read was that they confronted the traditional, council of elders, right? And those are the people who can look into these things, and I'm sure they feel like, again, let's be honest. Let's talk openly here. Okay. I'm sure they feel like what.
Yeah. Okay.
Council.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, sorry, I'll be coming to you right after. Yeah. So, okay, make your point brief quickly, Elvis. I think the line is from you. We're gonna have the very view. Please, for those of you listening, joining this network for the first time, we accommodate views that you don't necessarily propose to listen to or choose to listen to, but as long as expressing a civil context, we accommodate all views and opinions. Whatever expressed on this network is not a view and of the management of the Liberia Public Radio. Guys are going to be coming to you. Let's get a reaction here. Let me go to this number from Salt Lake City. Sally, good evening. Sally, are you there?
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Good. Guys.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. From there, I'll count to 308. Sally, go ahead. What do you make of what happens in Gwion County? Sally, are you there? Okay, I think she paused on hold. Okay, then let me go to 380 number. If you ready, Sally, let me know. 380 number 0982. Good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, Mr. So, how you doing, sir? My name is Roland Freeman. I call from Columbus, Ohio.
Mr. Freeman, good evening. Welcome. Let's hear you.
The issue today in Granjide, I'm hearing people on the show talking about whether we are still living in that age. Yes, we are still living in that. Liberia is still way behind time, and we are still talking about tradition. Uh, those customary things from way back then, they are still playing in some part of our country. It is unfortunate that we have to lose a lawmaker, and then people will get in the street and go and vent their angers and bring down somebody, hard-earned sweat because they feel that that person is connected to the person who died. And in a same branch that Alfred Donald got missing in our place, we heard that Emmanuel Pena was connected to that missing information, and up to present there is no outcome, no investigation. That case is dead. So here, a country where people are still living in a third world age. I mean, it means that there's no security, no law and order, nothing better is going on, and so everybody do take the law into their hands as they feel.
Okay.
So
Tell
what
us
do we
how
do?
quickly the line is framing up
Yeah,
here crazy. So I will
I
get to the
think
other
the
people.
best way forward is the county leadership need to be able.
Mm-hmm. County
Today,
leadership.
the government must take actions. Individuals must be penalized for their own
Well,
behavior.
sorry,
Coming to you. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead quickly, sir.
And so that's the only way we can get it. But it was so unfortunate today to see how people
Thank you
got
so
in the
much.
street and burning houses and destroying property, and for the death of another person. And
Thank
I
you.
think it was just wrong today in Grand Leader, and
Thank you
this
so
could
much.
escalate and become very dangerous.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's go. Salad, let's hear you. What you make of what? Yeah. Are you there? Go ahead, Salad.
What happened in Nigeria? We need to be careful when we get away from this. Every little thing that happened in Nigeria is so spiritual, it means always. And I think so people feel that Nigeria for him. Because every little thing starts from him. They don't know about. And I think Nigeria will go Madison and story that is started. So people need more in it. You need to slow down a little bit. You can't say you are a senator, you're serving the people that you serve, they even love you. Every time when it comes to election, you're tracking people from Bolivia, the people from Bolivia, they're making positions for people in Nigeria. It's not fair. So you put these dress all the time into order because the people are very tired of it. Because it's too much process for that country. Because it's too much for that country, process for that country, we need to calm down a little bit. You can't be taking people from Bolivia all the time, tracking people and making decisions for the people that are living in the country. So every proper kind of people come after you. Because you keep forcing yourself on the people and allow the people to still forget that they don't want it.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody saying that they want to destroy your life for no reason. Why to destroy your life? And for me, I believe it will start with because from time to time, I was telling my father what it was doing before we were born. I saw something going on for little girl in my father's face. I saw something with the colors, the one they used to put on the fire. I saw it. In Arabic, I saw the video, everything that I was believing. They're trying to say that in believe in tradition, but when you go and get married, you feel like married, and then you go to the school, your husband get away. So take to the fire with me. And the Lord going to buy it. So what the Lord can buy that they need to do.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mr. Toll, I just want to interject something quick before you continue with your viewers or your listening audience.
Just
the thing is,
hold your peace. Oh, oh my God, Tona, everybody, the guy. Okay, the guy. Okay, 609 number. Are you there?
Are you talking to me now?
Yeah, 609. Go ahead quickly.
Okay, my name is Emmanuel Kule. I'm calling from United States, North Dakota. My sympathy to the family of the bereaved one and the people of Granted. I didn't know the man before, but I saw the man demonstrating true loyalty. What was when the election magistrate got missing a grandchildren, but then the man was just expiring. I saw the man lying down on the floor, on the bare floor, begging his soul that they must bring the magistrate by the record shouldn't be.
Yeah, make it quick as
I the man to be a good leader and the man having the win power. I judge the man from the action he demonstrated that time, begging his soul on behalf of like election magistrate that got missing from grand leader. I begin to grade the man. I begin to support the man for his action. I'm so sorry to the people of Grand
Okay, thank you so
And I
much.
just want to say this one to the senator. When he stepped out, I think 2005, the beginning when he was representative, he made a ring as a good man that he was building grandchildren, he was helping people. In fact, that's how he became popular. That spirit that was moving inside him, that humanitarian spirit, and that spirit being tested by different other demonic spirit. I'm begging him, I didn't want him to look back at his track record and turn to his people and serve them the way he was serving them.
Okay,
I pray that the devil shouldn't be able to.
Thank you so much. Oh, man, we gotta go. All right. Thank you so much. 831-1443. 30 seconds quickly. Your quick reaction. We want to go back to the line.
Yeah, so you see the two past models, they contributed to all the violence in that because the party just went on looking like he was involved. That's why they don't see the indirect, but the way they complaining about group penalty was right. But you know, that's not the issue I wanted to talk about. I think in the very scary place. If everything that happens, we got to destroy people's property or we got to be violent, it's a scary something that going on here like here. I don't know how we get to this point. Everybody's so passive, everybody's so violent.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for taking my call.
Okay, let me come back here, Terry. Good evening. But we quickly go ahead and finish Terry. You say one other
thing I want to see my sister called from the state of Utah, and as to buttress what the guy who just left the line want to say, and these are some of the things that are open the Bandura bars that are causing trouble. Because if you have the sole belief that an individual is responsible for the demise of another man without tangible or scientific evidence, where we know a lot of things take place before somebody can die. We understand that the honorable man was in coma for a long period, for a length of time. And what I want to say, people just need to calm down, because when you come up, you got to learn to control your emotions to have a good judgment. I am a typical example. When my mother passed, I was at the tender age of, I think, 10 or 11, when my mom passed in Liberia. She died from a massive stroke. But at the time, because she was loved by her brother in the States, the Honorable Siwa Bone, they came from one man, one part, and everything he did was through her. The other sibling from the other side, for some reason, the people came up with the idea that, oh, her sisters then bewitched her, and that's how she died. But I was little in Tottenham Memorial Hospital. All these things, when I came to the States, that's when I realized that my mom had a stroke. My mom was on the bed. The last thing any individual will lose before they die is their hearing. My dad will call her, Makula, you can't do this to me. You cannot leave this children with me. I was with my dad at my mother's bedside. The only thing she did, she will force her leg, pull her leg up, and then she will kind of, move around. The next day, unfortunately, she died. So everything cannot be put on witchcraft. Everything cannot be put on social entity. We have been opportune. We that have come to this United States, we have to take our experiences and be able to pass it on to our people. But an individual who's been in this country for more than 20 years to come and allude to the fact that our honorable man died from some of which, and that his sister was paid to go and kill him, that like there was no other means of going to let's say if somebody really wanted to kill the honorable man, it has to come. Zoe has to be the direct contact with. Why, if the sister has said no,
I am not going to take this money to kill my brother and publicize me. I mean, so our people need to take time. Look, we are in trouble time. We are in mornings. People need to take their time and collect their ideas to see how best we can approach the thing. Again, instability is antithetical to everything that is happening. We need to be very, very careful how we train this thing. We cannot be our name can be in the picture for negativity all the time. Grand Jida. We have to come out positive news and come out of our country. We lost a great time, but we need to take time how we train this issue.
All right. Terry, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mr. Su.
Okay. It's glaring what we're seeing unfolding is grand here today, but there are a lot of things being happening that we don't know about. Some of them they happen, it's been in the family cycle, in the community, or whatever. But it is glaring the anger.
I think somebody have a feedback. I don't know if they need a mute or something.
Yeah. The anger and violence in the country is just overwhelming. This sort of mob violence type, people take laws into their own hands. This is how I feel it is. And so this is how I'm going to react. It's crazy. It is crazy. So it means anybody can say, this guy here, this is what he did, and so we must take his life today. Let's assume Zoe Pennon, we have some huge political differences, but we've got to be very careful when it comes to this thinking. It's just like you think you are right in your own mind. When you go before the court of competent jurisdiction, no circumstantial evidence is counted. They're not going to look at it. They're going to say, what do you have? Seeing what unfolded today, assuming he was in Grand in a house, what do you think would have happened? Assuming he was in a house, it means most likely we're going to be talking about two lawmakers being dead simultaneously with the other guy that committed suicide. I don't know the details here, so I hope not to dwell on that. But speak to the 5 year what is happening in our country.
Yeah, I think what is happening in the country is the lack of justice being served for people who commit crimes. Because there have been a lot of speculations and accusations on this Pennon man for allegations that have not clearly been proven, and there have been nobody brought to justice for anything. All right, so I think that is the build up from whatsoever he had been accused of in the past that is coming back on him.
The outburst.
Because there have been no proper investigation ongoing. Liberians have when political leaders are in power, they walk with impunity. They have a sense of walking with impunity on most things. So that can raise a serious build up in the hearts of the people that the little thing that sometimes you may not even be involved, but just because it happened and your name was mentioned, because the investigation did not handle it well in other past events, they can use that to attack you. But and I think that is the reason why people doing these things. When we have a system, when the government is able to bring most of these cases to justice, all right, and make sure that people go to jail and people be punished for wrongdoing, that goes even to the people who burning the man's house and all of that. Once these things are happening in the society and people serve real jail time with all pardon and all that, most of these things will ease down. But a lot of things happen in our society and people walk with impunity. Mob justice, people walk with impunity. Things happen, people walk with impunity. All right, and these are the things. But in my opinion, I really don't think that the Zoe Pennon guy was involved with the life. I could be wrong with the life of this particular guy, but again, opposition. When you have an opposition group that is mounting up pressure on another person who they think that and speculating that this man is not good, they will use that opposition mentality to attack you. Like this brother said something very, very smart, and it happened to us too in Liberia. My grandmother in the community were living because we're in the fence, so people around the community, because they did not have that opportunity that we had.
So people, mute your phone. Someone is talking. We'll come to you.
So people in the community have all kind of things to say about her. To an extent, they said the woman used to come to America. So they said the woman, every time she comes to America, it means she's coming to do plastic surgery. You know, and the woman never did plastic surgery before in her entire life. But that news was in the society for years until one day I came across somebody who was angry with me, and that was how I got to know that this is what was in the society. So people can say things about you that are not very true just because the fact that you are living better than them, or you in a better position than them, or you in a certain position that they don't like. So
your volume.
Many things they will say about you that actually you are not really doing.
Okay.
So yeah, so I think that Liberians need to stop, because take for example, that was how the war took place, right? When the war came, we were taking the wire from the pools. That's what they're doing there. The war came, we were taking the wire. We didn't know that time would come that we need current. So every government come out, when the current go off, then you cry, oh, we want current. But you don't know that during the war, you took the wire from there. Now you bringing somebody property that beautify your community. You accusing a man for something that you don't have no evidence, no proof, nothing. Then you bringing the horse that's supposed to be there to say, okay, yeah, these are the developments that we have in Grand Gila County. You know, that mentality, Mr. So, is not only from Grand Gila, it's all over Liberia. Everywhere in Liberia, the moment something happens.
So what happened during the election violence in Lofa the other day?
Yeah, in Lofa. It's not only Grand Gila.
Let me bring in the liberal here quickly, and I will come to the phone line. Liberal. The perception, people way of thinking, justice not being expeditiously enforced as it should be. The Afridonum, not only Zopen on the arm, but Ellis Chesia Grain, who also went on radio. You see, this is where the tolerance is, and throw or something. I don't even know. I should call it crowning. I try to find the English word for it, where a magistrate got missing. He had an honorable man also, who, when tensions, when people blood pressures and cholesterol going over the roof, who is supposed to speak to your people to restore kind, and came out to say, what the name of it, something? How to call that in English? Bobby, you know that. This is unbelievable. Enough funny. This thing came and took the pressing away. For God's sake. Now, when you do that, other people, family, people being hurt, and people need genuine answers as to how it happens. Even assume that we're hearing Donald have some sort of issue with this and that, blah, blah, blah. But when you, as a leader, when you come out, you speak on this thing, knowing that your name will also being mentioned. It's like friend said, I think they're just talking to people. And people were saying call. I'm not sure whatever, even though he came back to say he bet anybody, he put it a bet of 5,000, anybody that want to come up with substantial evidence. That has not happened. But the question here now is, if all of these things here, I'm wondering whether it is now that even the late Erol, since he took sick, whether it was the hand of Zopeno or any other person, I'm wondering, is it now after his death, before it was discovered, or people knew about it? And if people knew about it, what did they do to the extent that it would have been brought in this public space? I'm not talking about whatever kangaroo thing that is being done back there, giving people say, well, those things happen up in Toronto. They happen everywhere. We know that. But what else was done to bring it into the judiciary spotlight? The liberal.
Thank you, Mr. So, and I hope you give me a few minutes of your time, if you don't mind. Let me lay out the case here very quickly for you. You see, in life, if you elect to be a leader, that means you decided to be a leader. You must be a leader for all. You cannot be a leader and say, I will only be leader for certain group, because that's not how it works. I'll give you an example. The Zopeno, the Cheshire Grand, all of those people, as far as I'm concerned, I'm older than all of them. But I respect them because they are my leader. They were elected by the people. I cannot advocate for anybody and say, but I don't respect your voting right. These people voted for these people to lead us. Now, Mr. So, Bobby is just saying something here that all of us should gravitate towards. And that is, we cannot continue to remain in a confused stage as Africans, as Liberians. You come to this country, you cannot do certain things in this country. And you have gotten used to that. You go to Liberia, then you want to marry 7 women in Liberia. You can't do it here. Where are you? Who are you? What position you're standing in? Number one. But let me go back to this case here, Mr. So. I gave you 3 examples. One was the issue of Yaka Koluba when he got attacked in Grand Gide. These same leaders today that were here, not defending, but making good point to say we have to be careful how we attack each other. These people refuse to make statement. And it's not because you're making statement in support for Yaka Koluba, but you're making statement in support of the system. There was another lady, similar situation in Gay Town, about 6 or 7 months or even a year or so ago. This old lady was accused of killing people. And she drank this sakuru stuff. They put a mother's pencil circle around her, and she died. They refused for her to leave that circle. And they were videotaping it. They refused for her to leave that circle to take water, drink water, so that this thing, she can vomit it out. She died right in that circle. And many Grand Gide's leadership refused to make comments. Refused to make comments. Quite recently, during the election, there were people in Grand Gide country. If these people come here, their parents there in Monrovia must be ready. They will be shipped by in a casket on an election process, electional issues. And you telling somebody who's going to come and run campaign for their candidate in Grand Gide because you disagree with that person, you're saying that that person will be shipped by in Monrovia through a box. This is what we have. Because your refusal to make sure the system serves all of us, the same system that you have refused to acknowledge, because you're weakening that system, the system has come home to roost. In case of Honorable Zopen, who in their right mind that would believe Zopen will have paid somebody to go kill Honorable Erol Madison? For what reason? I could be wrong. But for what reason? For pure wickedness? I don't see that. Honorable Zopen is somebody when in your mind he tell you he came here to the United States and he was talking that day in a meeting about pepper soup business. The man don't have a mind. So what makes you think that he's unable to approach Erol Madison, that he's going to go and kill somebody? For which the people of Grand Gide County, I don't care how much you support or how you hate Zopen, but to go and destroy somebody's property based strictly on what you believe to be witchcraft, which the same witchcraft business, everyone in Liberia, the government of Liberia tried to frown on those things. I who's sitting down here, I used to take sausage school for my father. Plenty, they put in my eyes, throw me in the house for 6, 7 hours. So I know these things. I know how they work. I know people believe in them. There are people who will put color in the fire and take it out and put it on. If you're not guilty, you will not feel anything. If you're guilty, so the people do these things. However, Mr. So, in this day and age, we cannot and we must not gravitate towards those things. Because if we do, those of us that are here, that are kids here, they will laugh at us. We have to see the justice that we're hoping for the future of Liberia must prevail at all times. If you feel Zopen have done X, Y, and Z, get the law enforcement involved with some evidence. If you don't have evidence, if you want to believe in the traditional system, you vote against Zopen. But to go and destroy this man, and I don't agree with Zopen. You people know, you guys know where I stand with Zopen. I'm not a stranger with Zopen. People know where I stand. But I don't agree to go and take unto your own self, to destroy his property, his hard-earned money, to destroy that. That is unacceptable. I don't care what it is. You be a man. Some of us sat down. They take human being from between our legs and kill the person. And we're still here today. From between my legs. And I'm not going to go wish people. And this is what I'm telling you, Mr. So, when they do these kinds of stuff, then the graduate that we're hoping that many young people have struggled to educate themselves to be able to gravitate back home and bring that society up, then we're failing. It's very sad. It's very sad.
Okay, let me go to the phone lines here quickly, guys. Thank you for so much for being patient. Mike, let's hear you. From there, I'm going to go to 202 number and 817 number. Mike, let's hear you. Mikey.
Hello?
Yeah. Mikey, are you there?
Yes. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
First of all, I want to send
Do you have an audio on there? You you get an audio on?
I can hear you.
Mikey, are you I'm talking to? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, go ahead. But are you talking like something else listening? But go ahead. Go ahead quickly.
Your point. I want to first of all extend my condolences to the people of Gwion and also the people of Nigeria, you know. And the question we talk about tonight, especially Madison, my niece from Madison. So I'm so happy for this news tonight. And the liberal just spoke my mind not too long. So I'm not sure how to that. I just want to start with and also the people of Nigeria. And this will go to our leaders. When people have problems, disagreements, we all need to gather together to solve it. There are a lot of things that happen right here. People are separating off, you know. So I think we need to learn from this. Deeply sorry for what happened. And lastly, I don't know how people understand that you have to burn somebody else down because you're a teacher. We're living in a world where we deal with evidence, facts. You don't have time to burn somebody else down. You know, I'm hurt tonight, seriously.
All right.
I'm hurt tonight.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's go to 202. Are you there? 202-2214. What's your name and where you calling from? Yeah, what's your name and where you calling from?
This is breakable.
Yeah, let's hear you, breakable.
You know, proposal my sympathy to the weekend, also to all those that know me, also to all Gwion. No, the issue of Labrador is now only one side. Three reasons that made Labrador to be like up to now. The war, one, in the heat, in lack of work. When somebody not working and you see successful, they feel like you don't want me to suffer or you don't want me to not be successful. These are things that happen to Labrador too. The evil, because of somebody has opportunity in not having, it make it to the extent that people can lie on the train that they care whether they lie on the person or they want to kill the person. And these are things that continue stopping us. If we not come to ourselves and stop to hate one another like that, look at what people do. Somebody like even you see the person not do or because you hear the person when you hear you say the person do this, you stand right there and say yes. It's bad. And for all, we have to at least to know the truth, no matter how you feel about the person. If you see me happy, let the Lord take a course. No matter how you take.
Okay.
You cannot hear it. Look. So I say again, look, I say again, you have to close your eye on it because the Lord have to take a course. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Okay, 817 number 1053. Good evening, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
Good evening, and thanks for taking my call. My
Thank
name
you
is
for-
Rosalind Cooper. I am from Dallas, Texas.
Thank you for being so patient.
I am not from Grand Judah.
Hmm.
However, I follow the lawmaker very closely because I have keen interest in the legislature, especially the people in the House.
Hmm.
And he, to me, was one of the best lawmaker we had. So his passing is a great loss,
Right.
not only to the people of Grand Junta, but to the Republic of Liberia as a whole. Let me extend my condolences to the family of the Honorable Madison. But a couple of things that came to mind today when I started to follow what's happening in the country. I want to believe there was a lot of frustration or anger that actually had built up for quite a while.
Right.
Because I went back on the article page and I watched a video where his vehicle was vandalized,
Right.
and he actually accused Honorable Penham and someone else for being the perpetrator of that. So stuff like that, you put it out that people kind of have that mindset that okay, this guy is after our God because Honorable Madison, to me, he was a man of the people. He really lived with the people. He understood them, and they really believed and look up to him. On the other hand, when I look at his physical being, I look at photos when he first started, and then I look at photos as he progressed. I want to believe that he had an underlying medical condition that may have led to his demise. Maybe it was not diagnosed early, so it's ready to take care of it. But in our society, like the brother said, poverty leads to a lot of things. And I look at our wonder today. I said, I wonder if something like this will happen because you have a higher educated society in Rwanda. So until we can get to the place where our people's minds are elevated, we will still have this issue. And to the people at Grand Judah, I just want to appeal to you guys to please, as leaders, I know it's frustrating, but there where you guys to come in, you guys, especially in the US or Europe, everywhere in the diaspora, to come together and try to speak to the people in the continent to bring them together at this time. They need a sense of direction. So that's my appeal to the Grand Judahs in the diaspora to please step in and try to guide leadership because I thought of one thing today. I said, have those people seen on the panel that they were going to kill him too?
And that's the question I was just asking. Assuming he was in that place, I mean, we're talking about three persons being dead.
They were going to kill him too. We cannot have that. There's one thing about respecting tradition. Let us, we respect tradition, but let's sensible reason prevail. I'm from Monterey, my hometown. I don't think we, dwell dive in those type of things, but still I respect it. I love tradition. I love our tradition. But let us look at our tradition in a way that it enhances our lives. So I want to thank you for taking my call and again my deep sense of loss and sympathy to the people at Grand Judah and to Liberia. I feel a sense of loss because I love the man. I follow him. I say I wish we had at least 10 person like him in the house. So I too I'm very hurt by his loss.
Okay.
But I pray that peace prevail. Thank you.
Please don't go. Let me just tap into you. And the reason here, for the most part here, we have these men, they call here tabata politics all day. So when our sisters, LPR is a network for all. And this is why we don't sanction voices here. Do you think, would there be a lesson to learn? Lesson learned in the sense that national government is being needed today. We saw what happened recently during the election, during the heat of the election in Lofa. People, these are mob violence. We saw what happened just a few days ago. Joshua, this is a sort of pattern now from one region, from one area to another area here. What needs to be done to address these things? There are a lot of factors here. The war play itself, people are traumatized, people were not, no counseling, no proper rehabilitation. I'm not talking about people just go out there, you eat tablet, and you on your own, you go do the same things play. The whole country is traumatized, and people are here for fun. Because in Liberia there, you see some people, they're talking, the way they act is abnormal. It's not a normal way of doing things, but nobody is paying key attention, and we just think everything is okay. And this outburst they have a greater repercussion. Do you think there's a lesson learned here and what needs to be done by national government?
Yeah, I was in Liberia for 7 months for the election. So yes, I was in Liberia when the incident happened in Lofa. I was in Liberia when the incident happened to Joshua.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was there, and like they said, the an artist's mind is a devil's workshop. And because until we can get to the place where we enhance the life of our people, um, poverty is in the country. And until we can get to the place where our people are looking at themselves in a way that, so as men and women who has potential so they can really begin to believe in themselves and the opportunities are there for them, we will continue to experience these type of things. And like you rightly said, after the Civil War, we did not really go through a complete rehabilitation of all of our young people that experienced the crisis. Not everybody was able to make it out of Liberia. Most of the young people that are involved in this type of activities are people that went to the war and experienced all of the violence. The government play a major role, and that is why having a good leadership to steer the state of affairs of our country that will be able to govern from the lower level, from the county level. All of our government systems center in Monrovia. If we have, let's for example, we spread our government ministries across the country where people are able to, gain employment or some type of activities are carried out. People will not sit around and be thinking about these things. In the day and age, we still talking about sausage. I keep saying to people, our example should be Rwanda. Rwanda experienced genocide. Genocide, to me, is worse than a civil war.
Yeah.
And those people are able to recover from that. And look at them today. They are the biggest of hope for Africa. And we was once there, but now we are not there. So that's all I'll say to that.
Thank you so much. Hopefully you will find time for us here again on this network. And we want to encourage people because, and we in the media industry, we do have a greater share responsibility in making sure peace. But here the media is polarized, the media is divisive, people take side, and even the people doing the wrong thing, they protect their own alligators. And that's the problem that we are having. It's just all over. It's just all over. We're seeing it happen here before our very
the media is us. The media is the watchdog, the eyes for society, and it's unfortunate that since the Civil War, whenever we pretty much almost have lost our media institution in Liberia. I sit and I look at journalists go out to conduct interview and ask questions and demanding that the double question they ask. I look at some of the reporting that they do. The level of reporting is so on a mediocre stance that it's far below what we used to have. But like you guys are doing a great job. Hopefully, you can invest into young people in Liberia to help develop them, because we need that institution really needs an overhaul. And I'm not losing hope. I still have hope that one day we will get there. So thank you all for having me tonight. This is my first time calling on your show.
Okay, please, it shouldn't be during crisis time you call us. What we also want to tap into your expertise here. I'm not good at managing crisis, so I try as much as possible to avoid crisis. And in fact, like African as a whole, we are not good, but we create crisis and we can't manage them. That's the problem we are having. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Let me go to all right, Gerald. Gerald, I will bring you in. Let me go to North Carolina here, 980 number 6339. Are you there, Vic?
Yeah, I'm here, Mr. So. Good evening.
Yeah, I need to be president in our country there and really put people.
God forbid. God forbid. God forbid.
Then why you will put Mr. Toe? Well,
He will be the first one will be locked up. This man, they care with ear, baby, for them when they see that they will know that I'm not here for joke. This man, I will lock him up. No light, no song.
I really want to see your
outside with
presidency.
cold water in here, more he go back inside. No, seriously.
Labor will take you
just
over
before
he will take you over. You will overthrow you so money.
The old man was not stable where he one side lays so stands so. You will be the 5 man with lock up. Okay, let's hear you, Victor.
Yeah, so like the lady, she like said it, or she nailed it head.
Right.
And even Liberal said the same thing. I really appreciate both of them. Our problem in Liberia is the issue of leadership, and leadership from the local level, if I should put it this way, Mr. So. Because if you look all over the country, there were a lot of different things that happened during the electoral process. And up to now, we don't have a redress to a lot of these things. You look at LOFA, you look at Gwion. I read on the news, I think it was on the LPR, I read that news that the issue with the representative of district number 1 in Gwion.
Yeah, lawmaker already beating people.
The lawmaker was ordered to court. But then I also read on LPR again, the reporter came back and said that the senior lawmaker went and called the police director and asked the police director to dismiss the commander who investigated the case, saying that the commander never did a good investigation. So if we have this kind of situation in our country, that is what will lead the people to do what they did in Gwion. I don't support that. That is uncalled for, that is uncalled in our society. But how can a lawmaker who was investigated for something that happened in the county and the police said you were wrong, we filed the matter to court, and then you get mad and want the police commander to be dismissed from his job? You are undermining the judicial process. You don't want the officer to do his job. And that is the problem we have in the country.
Thank you.
A lot of time we blame the ordinary citizen for coming amok at people, but also our leaders do not want to be held liable for things that they do in the eyes of the very people who they want to govern. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that the people did what they did in Gwion yesterday. It was bad. I hope that cannot happen. Those who did it, they should be investigated, and if they are found guilty, they should be filed in the court and let the law take its course. But equally so, our local leaders need to work with the citizens to have our country to be a country of law instead of a country of men. That is what I think, and that is my take on this whole issue. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. Well, they're not men that gorilla, then they're now because they want to do it. They're men that are country of gorilla and lions. Okay, Gerald, let's hear you. Gerald, this is serious. This is a challenge ahead, and people always like to put a system to test. I tell you, our late city mayor yet, body CNC, you know the city corporation, the police fall under the city corporation in this country. The guy did something crazy, and they're saying that the guy eat own baby. They put him behind it. They put him behind the you know where those dogs can be and things. And he went to court. There is until we can have the system fully executed and not being selected. Like the case of Melvin Cole, police officer, they don't even regard those people. Nobody, people live for you. I mean, the entire country, everybody is like you just on your own. It's insane. It is crazy. Like you in some sort of Sabibo land. If you don't fight for yourself, I'm telling you, if you don't fight for yourself, it's like you're on your own. And if you talk to those young people in the street, all the country is on edge. They're just waiting for something to spark so that there can be a violence, so there can be a bloodbath, so that they can loot, so they can just cause mayhem. And that's exactly why it is. So as such, you need a real force. I mean, the law has to be very forceful. Let me bring you comments. What the heck is going on? You want to go be the police commissioner so that you can put this thing under control?
Man, first of all, I want to say good evening to you and good evening to Mr. Toll and Collins and to viewers and listeners. You know, I want to extend my condolences to the people of Grand Gwion. And I listened to Mr. Toll a few minutes ago. I know Honorable to hear some of the things that I was hearing. I was kind of a little bit shocked. And like Mr. Toll said, in this age and time, the law needs to take its course. Period. That's it. That's the way forward. So how can you implement the law in a situation where people have become Lord and gospel in the country? For me, it's shocking, you know. It's very surprising. But let's go back a little bit. When 5 dead bodies were discovered in Maryland County, when the former superintendent, former senator was allegedly linked to that ritualistic killing, what became of that situation? Then Mariah came from jail and became senator. Go to River G, the Fulani man who was beheaded in River G County. Commander Wisa were allegedly linked. The driver said they were the ones who beheaded that man for ritual purposes. The little boy that was killed in Lofa County, a certain senator was allegedly linked to that death. Somokopi. What became of it? The 17 young men who were killed between Lower Magidi County and that of Grand Bassa. What became of it? A certain lawmaker was allegedly linked to that death. You know, Mr. So our country needs men. I think we need a police director no different from the late Joe Tate. And we need somebody like Paul Mulva. Then we need you know, I'm looking for some of the tough guys, some of whom are not around again, to return maybe at the Liberia National Police and some of the people that we knew after the war that was, you know, that were set at the NSA. Because what I see, I listen to Sis Roslin. I lived in Liberia for 34 years, never went to exile. After the war, before the climax of 2000, the World War I and World War II, the level of lawlessness in the country now was never like this after the civil crisis to come to World War I and World War II. Things have gone out of hand over the past 12 years or 6 years plus. It's scary if no government, if the government don't put into place a system from legislators to the ordinary citizens to our towns and villages, I'm afraid hell will break loose. You can bring the best man who thinks he's very educated, influential, and could be a good leader tomorrow. If they don't curtail these things, hell will break loose. Hell will break loose. The level of lawlessness now, anybody who lived in Liberia after the 90 war to come to World War I and World War II and III, they will tell you the level of lawlessness now in the country was never like this. So it's scary.
So what do you make of hearing the one carry liberal as a police commissioner? What do you think going to happen?
I think the people of Toasttown will keep the police headquarters in Toasttown because they will end up protecting him. That
would be the very first protest I will leave for here. That man not going to be no police. You'll be police for
you know, Mr. So you as a journalist, right?
Man will not go. That man will not prepare myself to be ready. I will manage with him.
You as a journalist, right? We can't blame the young kids coming after us that left the media, active media work, right? Because the proliferation of radio stations in the country, here's something that most people don't know because they haven't been in the media before, so they see it from the surface. 99% of most of the radio stations in the country are owned by influential people. And two, those reporters, their salary cannot commence the radio work. So you don't expect them in their reportage for their stories to be the way you want it. It will not happen.
The situation is so complex, man. You take one from
Look,
there,
look
another
at
one jumps.
just look at state radio now. Just look at the state radio over the last 6 years. The level of production that come out of the state radio is sad for a state radio to operate that way. So if the state radio is that operating that way, what can you get out of the other radio stations who people just give people frequency and the owners of those radio stations are friends of politicians and they can't even pay their staff? So this is the reason why the people not getting the kind of level of education and awareness they need to kind of, help to emancipate their minds. So they just become lawless. The Liberal National Police not creating the kind of program needed. No government institutions in the country over the past 6 years were creating anything led by the opposition political parties themselves.
Yeah.
I think they have only one.
And the imams got to play their part, the pastors got to play their part, the political parties got to play their part. But we all look at central government to play the major role.
All right. Thank you so much, Komis. All right, guys, let me come back to you. We will soon, it's after 10 already here. So here we are. We hope not to come back here with this sort of conversations. It is a challenge for the country, for all of us, not just on the national government. We as a citizen, we do have shared responsibilities in making sure peace prevailed in the country, regardless of people's side. But trust me, this thing gonna be politicized. It will be like, okay, that's your time. We probably move from here now. Y'all need to manage it. It's going to happen. This lack of tolerance, lack of patriotism for the country. If once you're not there, I mean, the country is like people live in the crack kingdom world. You know, why not me? Let it go the way, any kind of way. Who cares? I'm not there again. And not just only people in government, people outside of government, ordinary people, civilians, people that sit behind the microphones, the things that come from out of their mouth, all have to exacerbate all of these tension-packed situations in the country. Makes I say things, false news, say things that they can't prove, because the country is polarized, because they are speaking to specific demographic, they are speaking to specific base. And you have those people there to energize them, to pump them up, to celebrate them, to cheer them. So it's like it's a tough one. How can we navigate? How can we navigate through this system here? And because there are certain people now, there are certain things they want you to say. If you can't say it, you're not a guy. You're not one of them. You are not part of their club. They don't want to listen to you. Whatever you say, so that man, he's talking trash. But just say those things, those words they want you to say. You say it. You are speaking truth to the power. How can we navigate through the sort of system and be the system, Terry?
Yeah, you see, Mr. So, like what our prophet was just saying, Prophet Cummings, we need to do some civic education for our people, and that would be very helpful. But unfortunately, only one radio station in the entire country, which is Freedom FM, that was doing that do advertisement on mob justice. All right. Besides them, nobody else is doing any civic education on mob justice. So how effective is that? How many people Freedom FM is really reaching? To do the kind of education, you need to go directly to the people. You need to go to them in the villages. You need to go to them in the various places and educate the people the danger of mob justice. So, but that is not happening. So we need to have a force that will tackle that, and with the effectiveness of that project, you will see some level of changes, because we are from post-war. There's a post-war trauma that Liberians are going through right now. And whether you like it or not, majority of the people in the country are not set in their mind. All right. So you need a lot of investment. I think the government need to invest a lot into educating our people on some of these things. And Ambassador Boycott need to make sure to enforce a robust security sector, empower the security so that they can be able to tackle some of these things and bring these guys to justice. Over the past 6 years, we have not been seeing a lot of transparent justice taking place in our country. All we've been watching is just witch hunting, selective justice. We have not been seeing real justice taking place. People need to be brought to justice, penalized, go to prison, bear the consequences for their actions, and gradually these things will be eradicated. Like this whole burning thing is not started today. Or in Liberia, when you ride motorbike, even the motorcyclists, when those drivers used to hit them, they would jump out and burn the car. All right, that's what they do. They burning thing. They used to burn the entire car. If that truck, they will burn the truck. If that's something, they will burn it. So these are things that need to be addressed. And until that happens, Liberia is still going to be downtrend.
Okay, let's go to, before we wrap up, Koto Jalabalayan, senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio, is on the line from the Garden City. Koto, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Soul, and good evening to the fellow panelists tonight. And I want to say good evening to the people of Liberia, wherever you are at this moment. I would like to take this time to extend my sympathy to the family of the legislators, and I want to say sorry again in our own war, our mama people. And what I want to say is that Liberia has become, a place of violence. And for some of us who got the bitter pills of it, it makes, many of us kind of retrospect when these things happen. We have to use what we call the justice system in our country. And not just saying somebody, just a minister being the sole, distributor of the justice. We have our justice systems all around the country. And do they record it? We have our justice systems.
Can you call up, can you please lower your monitor? Go ahead, Koto. Yeah, hold on, lower your monitor, somebody is talking. Yeah, go ahead, Koto.
Okay.
Okay, and this system should be actually the people who would be in this area should be given the sole responsibility to execute their job. But what I have been seeing in the past time, you see a judge in a county carry all the jurisdiction, and you see somebody from a road is sent a call. So disqualify whatever job that we have done there, discrediting that person for doing a particular job or carry out a judgment. That is impeding our full justice system in Liberia. And if you feel that somebody from that end is not performing their job, your future is to recall them and put another person there that will better do the job. But if you impute on the person's judgment, you are then having problems with the justice system. Either the person who carried their case there or the opponent of that person. So it's affecting people so badly that people don't judge respect the justice system. And what happens is like a cup that you keep compressing. When you fill it out, there's no way for it to ever hold, then it goes back. And so that should be kind of one system. But again, we have to also talk about what's leading to this mob system that is going on. If you allow things to continue to persist where other people are not seeing the repercussions, it leads them to continue the act. Other people did it, nothing came from other end. So I can do it and nothing will happen to me. So it continues, the cycle, goes on and on and on. So it's sad that we have to go through the system, but I think what we have is good administrator, like I listen to Mr. Kumin, Pastor Kumin, he really said, good administrator, where the power will be distributed in every area and not to be disrupted by leader sitting in a building or leader sitting in a city or a city of a county and then executing demand from that area of their command, getting it down to the next person who is given the responsibility to do their job.
Okay.
And it's so sad. I just want to again say I'm sorry, for the death of this loss. I didn't know him personally, but from what I have been hearing, that he has been a good lawmaker. And for the good ones we need, when we start killing them, what happened to our country? I mean, it's so sad. So I just thought I'd add my voice to the many voices to talk to our people again. Let's stop this violence.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much. Okay, let's have the last caller for the day here. 267 number here. Oh, 267, are you still there? Uh-oh, I think the person hang up. Okay, thank you. Well, you may say that in that. Gentlemen, we'll be wrapping up. We don't know the situation. We try reaching out to the county leadership just to get a sense of what is happening in terms of sanity, security, safety, in the county and all of that, because this is, I don't know, this thing is, and that's the danger when you have built up. People respond to situations in different forms, context, and whatever way they think they want. Guys, I beg you, the 267 number have been calling. Caller, are you there? Can you lower your monitor, please? Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you lower your monitor? You can't be in two places at the same time. Can you lower the one you're listening to there, and then we will hear you, because other than that we'll be getting the echo.
Yeah,
you can't be in two places at the same time.
Like one of the things Liberians don't understand, they don't know that thing. 200,000 times they will tell them when you call low the monitor, they will not do it. They don't know how to do it.
Okay. To NEPA and not in your good mood. And I want to scream on somebody here because
Liberians don't know how to do it. They don't know it.
Yeah, I already dealing with something 2 years and I'm already having headache. And nobody else going to add up to it. Comment you on your own now. When something to program on, you can call. Guys, we are about to go home. It's glaring, deliberate, the challenges this country is faced. So sometimes I wonder whether it is the leader or we the people or where is this coming from? Because it's just a complex situation, to be honest.
Yeah, if I may take this, Mr. So, I think one of the problems we have, it is not the doing of foreigners, it is within ourselves. Since the end of the Civil War, many of us have not had the opportunity to be de-traumatized. I'll give you an example. A few months before the election, the president of the Republic of Liberia invited political leaders of the Republic of Liberia to sign a declaration, Farmington Declaration, where they declare they will stay away from violence or any kinds of form of inciting violence. And immediately, the ink was still wet on the paper when President Weah went, according to story, approached and vehemently verbally attack another Liberian, Goodrich, who he believed were responsible in the theft of his car and everything during the days of the war. Some 30 some more years. President Weah I've never heard of him being involved into the war or harming somebody. But the fact that his family member, his property were vandalized, the family members are violated, that has not escaped his mind. In as much as he had all the money, he could have gone to some sort of a class to be de-traumatized. How much more about people who don't have that? And Mr. So, usually when you and I talk, I make fun of it. I say if people want to see the true end of the Civil War, when Grand Judas settled, the Civil War in Liberia is ended. The reason I'm saying this is that there's so many things that happen in our Grand Judas that are yet to be discussed.
Like what?
I'm not going to go there.
Okay, if you're not going to go there, then don't talk it. No. If you will not go there, do not come create a scenario here.
You're not going to tell me how I have a conversation with you.
Yeah, you have a conversation. Not necessarily. No, listen.
Conversation, but you cannot tell the liberal to tell him how to have a conversation with.
Okay, Terry going to be the president. Hold on. Your partisan going to be the presiding judge in this case here. Terry, do you think the people that are listening to us, do you think they want to get something where they can get an in-depth? What would be the takeaway? This guy, he does it every other time, every other day on this network. He come and throw something out and he say, I don't want to call name. Look, this is not a society. These are the same people that get problem in the country. This is what he's doing. He talks about problem. He doesn't want to find remedy to those problems. You can be knocking your knee from now to the end of the show. I would say what I can say. Terry, is he right? If
well, I will not want to settle with the Liberal tonight on that.
Thank you.
You are guilty, man. You are guilty.
Because the Liberal, you're supposed to give us at least a gist.
Yeah, you can't just come and
listen, both of you. Let me try to disabuse both of you a little bit. In life, there are times you have conversation when you try to disclose information, and there are times you have information to say, I know. I'm saying it, and I will say it again. There were so many things that happened in Grand Judas during the war that are yet to be discussed. It is not me who's going to, I'm not the only crown man in the world. So, I'm not going to discuss other things that happen.
Let me ask you, are there other things happening in other countries?
Look, when you're conservative, you know you ain't ever me. You and the other conservative, you ain't ever me. What make you think? You think I here for Kumbaya? You think I here to come make friends? All the people writing all that junk, you think I told them to get off the platform? You think I here to come make friends? I am here to be truthful, and I will be truthful. Mr. So let me just tell you that. You and the other people, you ain't able me. My ain't saying you more, you ain't saying my more. Nothing you can do to me. I'm blocked. Equitable dollar, elephant skin. I got thick skin. Let me finish my statement. And therefore, the fact that many of the issues in Grand Judas have yet to be discussed. And Grand Judas is not isolated. These are things that happen all over Liberia. People did some stuff that are yet to be discussed. And because of those kinds of behavior, the leadership of the Republic of Liberia supposed to be able to see if this thing raising their coming up, their hairs coming up, they should say, no, let's put stop to it. If you don't do that and you allow these things to fester, you're going to have issues. And let me just be blunt here right now. This is what's going to be the Achilles heels of Ambassador Baka, President Baka. He, over the years that I have watched, he does not like to get quickly involved into issue to settle it. I'll give you another example. When he had a town hall meeting when Costa were going bunga on Cummings, when he had the town hall meeting, when people asked him, he said, this thing will come to an end when I go to Liberia. Did it come to an end? Did he even discuss it when he go to Liberia? In order for Ambassador Baka to be able to have this, you can't have a development with a segment of a mindset of people at the bottom. You will not be successful. Mr. So, there are people right now, if you go and fix those roads, there are people who will take digger and shovel and pour hole in it because they want money. That's a sick mind. Those kinds of stuff have to be addressed from the bottom by the community, bringing the community into service, bring the communities on board to say, this is what we want to do. The community must be involved. The community must be part of the process. If you don't do so, President will continue to have a show and I will enjoy myself because we're going nowhere. Thank you for the show. And please don't think you and your conservative view going to bamboozle this liberal to accept how the conversation that I'm going to have with you should be laid out. What do you want to do? You want to give me a conversation?
But liberal, I want to push back on you on a little bit.
Have a conversation with you.
This one here, I'm gonna leave it within your rank and file. See, no, it's not good. Don't run away.
You're gonna force me now on the liberal network. You're gonna tell me that I shouldn't leave. I was just telling you so I can break the conservative behavior more out of it. I said I'm gonna leave. No, don't leave. Okay, I stay.
Okay, Terry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're going in tonight.
The labor is in his how you call it, blockhood skin. Oh, you can't make it now. Anything will fire now, it will bounce.
It's so ridiculous, unbelievable behavior.
Anything will fire now, it will bounce. But Mr. So, you know, Liberia, I think what labor is saying.
Wait a minute.
Ambassador Baka,
you succumb to the liberal, you can't tell me what the liberal is saying?
No. That's why I'm trying to
run
back
to the
a little
liberal?
bit. No, now I agree with him partly, but not fully. You know, I agree with him partly, but not fully. You said something.
One thing I never begin. That one thing I never begin. No, okay. Go ahead.
But actually, Mr. So,
you know the need a man giving you?
What kind of need give me?
Oh, okay.
The man has to be a crown now. Anyway, y'all soon baptize me. Don't worry, I'm coming for my baptism. So y'all can give me one crown.
Let me just explain it. There's a little wood log in the forest, but it's so light that when you take it and put it on the water and you think you're going to stabilize you, walk, it will flip you over.
So he flipped me over now, right? Wow.
You know, but to be honest with you, Mr. So, Liberians need to graduate from that trauma. And unfortunately, the DDR program was not successful in that it did not rehabilitate our people. But equally so, Liberians are strong people. We are Africans. Africans are very strong. They're quick to adapt. What I think Ambassador Baka need to do on the ground, he don't need to bring, foreign people from America to be police director and all that kind of thing. You need people on the ground that understand the system already. And I already recommend somebody. I may be large at. I already thinking about somebody. I recommend him to Ambassador Baka if he's listening, which is Gregory Kuma. Gregory Kuma, and these guys on the ground, they already know the work. They know what's going on. They know where to tackle. They know all the problems. They understand the length and breadth of Liberia. And he been in the police force for a very long time. At the ending of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's term, that when she brought the man in, and the man is young, energetic, ready to go. If you put these guys over in the police, like people got problem with Abraham Kromah, but Abraham Kromah then understand the nitty-gritty of what's going on in the society. So if you bring
102,
if you bring these guys, they will be able to address the issue immediately. But if you take somebody from America here and bring them to Liberia, a problem is complicated. They will never be able to address it adequately. And to be honest with you, Liberians, a rough set of people. You don't need a slow going police director. You need a police director that is aggressive. That the only way you can put these things under control. People that will tackle the issue
I've got a part
and
with
deal
you.
with
You're
it.
talking about violating people civil liberty, my son.
Well, not violating people's civil liberty, but addressing the issue. Because, like, take for example, what you saying, Mr. So, that Ambassador Boyka will go carry on development, and somebody will take Deacon and dig the place because they don't want Ambassador Boyka to succeed. Obviously, that is not what the Liberian mentality looks like. All right, I think that in as much as Ambassador Boyka is a slow-going guy, he is very strategic, and he understands. He's slow going. I myself, I have problem with him.
But
that is one of the problems that I have with him.
Slow going, Mr. Don't ask any more questions. Let the man finish his statement, please.
Why you want to stop me from asking questions?
He's slow going.
What is your fear that will be the next question?
Terry, go ahead, my brother.
He's slow going, but he's very strategic. So, with the aspect of what Libra was saying that I wanted to push back on with, Ambassador Boyka, there are certain people that the ambassador Boyka could not control. He could not say anything. He had to allow that person to do what it can do until it's done. And I think that was wisdom. All right, Mr. Costa is not somebody that you can talk to say, "Oh, Costa leaded me." When Costa get ready to say he's going after you, he will use everything in him to go after you. That is the kind of person I have been knowing him to be. So Ambassador Boyka didn't have the ability to control him. The guy cannot be controlled. He cannot be bamboozled. Costa is a guy who he don't listen to nobody. He listens only to himself. And I think that is one of his major problems.
Take time like his son. You're coming for a part right now.
Yeah, that is one of his major problems. And until he realizes that, he will continue to struggle. He's a fine species. I think he still have opportunity to come back because he's young, he's energetic, and sooner or later, within 6 months, 1 year, Liberian will forget about all those things. We'll be talking about different things. The moment Ambassador Boyka start making some errors, it will be a ground for Costa then to come back into the limelight. And he has the ability to do that, but until he can learn how to work on himself, to realize that there are some things that sometimes when some people hold your ear and say, "My man, listen, sit down here, do it this way," it will be very hard for him to really rise to serious political power to help to change the trajectory of our country. But I think we need this kind of talking most of the time. Lastly, before I go, Mr. Soul, Liberia need a reconciliatory council, special, that will be organized, that will go from county to county, that will strategize our people from the interior, how you can call them, from the interior, those council.
You can reconcile without even also finding the root cause of why you want to reconcile.
But that what Labor was saying, that you have to discuss the issues of what.
This guy is not talking anything. He came here and proposed something, and he said he doesn't want to say something. You can say, if you can say, yeah, don't talk.
Yeah, that what I said. He got to say what you got to talk about.
People listening to you, you just throw some sort of monkey wrench here until we're going to allow you to go away with it.
Let me say this here, please.
Like all the killings. You got to talk about it.
Before you wrap up, give me 1 or 2 seconds of your time, please. Let me say this here, since we're wrapping up, Mr. So. Let me go back to the late Honorable Erol Madison. I feel and I sympathize with the family and everyone else. I also strongly send my condolences message to Timmons Collins, who were very much involved in making sure this young man was elected by doing all he did here in the diaspora. Last day, Mr. So, as Grand Gideon and somebody who is old, I'm about 200 years old. But no, seriously, Mr. So, the name of Zoe Penno, even if it is connected in whatever way, that does not give Grand Gideons the right to damage anything that belongs to Honorable Zoe Penno. That is unacceptable. That kinds of behavior must stop. Must stop. If you feel Honorable Zoe Penno have, which I don't believe, Because almost Zopeno that I know, he doesn't keep anything in mind. Because people who keep things in mind are people who have the ability and most likely do some, but he's expressed himself anyway. So I don't see that. However, that's my belief. I could be wrong. But until those things can be proven, until they can be proven, we must build institutions. There are laws, even in Granjide. So we cannot attack each other. We cannot destroy each other's property. You know how long the young man took to build those buildings?
Right.
Those are difficult things to do. We have to respect the rights of people to express themselves, but the voice of violence as Granjide, this is something that is unacceptable. We cannot do that because what they have done, instead of us taking 2-3 hours to continue to praise Madison, now we have to dive into the violent aspect based, from the demise of our own brother. These two things do not match, especially when Honorable Leroy is concerned. He's always been a peaceful person. So at the end of his life, now we have this connection of a violent. This is also unacceptable. So I want to say to many Granjide, young Granjide, the future of Granjide County is in your hands. Let's put ourselves together and see how best we can bring ourselves together and make sure the country become the best and the county be the best of all in Liberia. Mr. So, thank you very much for this wonderful, wonderful show tonight. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, sir.
Did he tell us the problem that he was talking about? Because we talked about
still beating around the bush.
He kept salad dressing thing here. I'm not a salad eater. What did you take away?
I didn't give him a speech. I'm not going to fight with you. You can talk for another judgment day, and not going to move me. I'm blocking.
But that's a waste of time.
Okay, to you.
To you. We need to face the issue. We need to.
Why don't you put up a program?
This is why you guys do. Listen. This is why you guys do. Y'all go to a doctor. When the doctor tell you, say, don't eat pepper and salt, you come by, you look through the window to see what are more coming. Then you go call spoon, you eat, then you finish. You are like, you need eat so and then you leg your bed. When the pressure start going up, then they ask you what happened, and you say you don't know. That's
Same when you become a doctor, you're describing my behavior like that.
You're making me to be a doctor now tonight.
Okay.
But on a serious note, look, people need to face it, and it's a hardcore lesson for our leaders. Because as a leader, you should have some qualities in you that would be seen as a leader. Now, some of these things when it happened, I had a privilege. I think I met him 1 or 2 times. This sort of bitterness within the caucus, it's not just on it, you need to grind it. All of these, if you listen to other, if you think your own voice and you listen to other country own, it's the same. But when people label you as setting X and Y, Z, and you know you are not like that, but this sort of system is being repeated over and over, for God's sake. You got to have the courage, conviction to address to some of these issues. Yeah, okay, let the people talk. When they're tired, they will get. Well, I mean, let them talk. When they're tired, they will sit down. You can be. It's not a justification of the action, but these build up when they do not get redress. The outbursts become dangerous, and that's the situation. That's the aftermath we are facing now. We need to have an judiciary system. It doesn't matter. The former president of the free world, today, he's still being investigated. Today, he's still being investigated. But you have former national leaders who were accused, who take responsibility. They never compensated the government. They were scot-free.
So, but Mr. So, why they?
We need to return to the municipal system here where people will be able to take responsibility. But when we have people that are liberal here who will come and just throw something, tell us this is a problem.
How you going to tell me thank you?
What?
I let you host my show today. Is that how you're gonna tell me thank you?
The reason you allow me to host it because you wasn't able to do what I'm doing now tonight. You begged me to do this for you. So I'm not obligated to tell you. You're supposed to tell me thank you. I should prove my case.
No, let's move on. Let's move on.
That one you got him. You got him on that one.
No, because I'll come and let Erol join now. Then you are big. You start begging me 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock I was away. You start begging. I'm gonna play it. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. And I mean, our prayers and talk. This is a challenge. These are all crossover problems now coming to Ambassador Joseph Newman Boyka.
Right.
So when he used to be slow, it's time for him to start working now so that you're slow. So I don't want no excuse. You had this guy here yesterday. He came here for 2 hours. These are the people that are so unfair. Talk Tabata on this network with fanatical for when you are not even given the opportunity.
I didn't even call him because Labor was talking to Tabata.
Will you do the same to Musa Belete and what his name said, the other gentleman from the party? Will you call them?
For what?
You see there for what? Now when
But
you
gotta
have
be balanced, Labor.
Yeah. What balance? What balance? You can't balance the whole show. I want to balance what balance? You think I have to balance?
This guy is a complete problem, embarrassment to this network. He came here 2 hours yesterday with Kofa, but he would not give the other people a chance to say their part. Now, where is neutrality? Who is he? What he really represent?
Before I started the show,
he carried Joseph Boyka now. Joseph Boyka president. He's going back to his base CDC now, bringing Kofa to be.
No, I'm not going to CDC. I want to. Kofa's a Liberty Party man.
But the man with CDC now.
Let him stay there. All I know is single Kofa. No, nothing else around here. I didn't claim to be neutral. I explained. I said Kofa is my friend, and I'm here tonight.
So the same friendship you frown on, the friendship you frown on Georgia. Is that why you're bringing to Joseph Boyka now?
What friendship I frown on Georgia? Why would I? Georgia, the people they put in a bubble. They want anybody to be friend with him. They don't want anybody to be friend with him.
No, I said you frown on him with this friendship type of government. Now you bringing your friend. Now why you collect all the old people from Sacramento? Like?
Yeah, last night, Labor play with all last. I said the man was completely in a different dimension.
The other man said he can't even. I don't know what happened. He get called for what. Yeah. When you talk to them, they will say, drink small water. You a fool?
Yeah.
You're good name, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, you try to get out of the way.
Are we coming on tomorrow? Are we coming on your show tomorrow?
Of course. I am.
The liberal allow.
Well, the night is too soon to determine what I'm going to do.
For friendship. I'm here for serious business. So you and all of your audience that are writing Tabata about me, they don't move me. I'm coming tomorrow again.
Somebody was even writing.
The lady was expressing her view here.
What view when you start asking me, you own a show?
Yeah, but you're just a presenter here. You're not on anything here. The reason you're here is for this show. And then you either have your always fucking with them.
Oh. The liberal is not here for friendship business. You know that.
Wow. Papa, good night, man. Good night.
All right, good night, man.
Yeah.
Okay, good night. Good night.
Okay, guys, thank you so much to our many viewers and listeners. Our prayers and thought goes out to the bereaved family. That's Madison wrote Gwion, very good guy. I'm not sure. This whole thing here is just is something. But we pray. We pray that God will, reach, console the family. Let's see here. I try to bring here. It's retrospect. That's why some defining moments of the late Representative Madison Gwion. Just bear with me a little bit. Try to do something here. Just bear with me quickly.
The streets and farm to market rules or feudal rules have all become so dilapidated. They are not accessible anymore. And so the real farmers are there, and there's no way they can even trade. Because when I was a kid coming up, most often we noticed our parents were sending us to school and taking care of us through farming. But today is not the case because there is no road, there is no means by which farmers to easily convey their products to the market for sale. So that too is a challenge. And you realize even in the city itself, the streets are not accessible, except for when we started to do something on them as the leader of the people. The county, most especially the city, has been in darkness for so long since the war. Maybe there were one or two light bulbs, but at some point in time, everything went off and the city was completely dark. And so it was the first project we embarked upon right after our election, after induction. We didn't wait to take pay because once you are elected and you are in a kind of status in society, you become creditworthy and the rest of.
Well, folks, that's how we're going to draw the curtain down here tonight. That's the late Erol Madison Gwion, Representative District Number 1, Gwion, County, Republic of Liberia. His demise, I cannot hovers and sort of blow the airwaves yesterday, and we saw the aftermath. This is a clear indication we all as a citizen, even when we are within or outside of the country, we do have a responsibility in making sure to preserve. There might be a lesson to learn here. The bitterness, the resentment, the political device, lack of tolerance. Everybody just in anger. Everybody getting vexed for whatever reason. The leaders, they have to set the tone. They have to exhibit that sort of leadership skills so that the young people, so that the citizenry will also follow them. But when you listen to some of the leaders, things that come from out of their mouth as well, those are things that people that follows and copy, and they eventually execute those things. Because what you listen to, what you hear, you process it and you act upon it. And this is where the media industry comes in. And even at that, when the media industry comes in, the device in the media industry, everybody taking side. Everyone is protecting his or her own alligator. No one wants to be objective. When it falls on your lap, then you get 10,000 excuses. Give justifications of the actions of that person. You will only see it when it is not your candidate or your choice. So this sort of selective method of approach of handling situation, dealing with issues, it has entangled and engulfed the entire country. Granted, that is the case, but there are many others. This on to resolve, we feel that it's resolved because it's not resolved because people are not getting, or people not getting the sort of justice system, because people shield people, they protect people. This conversation goes on behind the cloud, the darkness, nothing comes out, and all of a sudden they say, okay, it's over. And people still keep things within their anger. If you do not have the finances, your justice is on the rug. That is dangerous for our country. Until we can change course and think of where we're coming from, where we eventually hope to go. It doesn't matter who is president in that country. The mindset has to be changed. So it brings into questioning what's the law. People just take law into they do anything they want to do. They wake up, they want to, whatever thing they want to do it because they know there is no repercussion. People get away with it. So it's a normal situation people are living with now. So I can do anything. I have to go to jail and come out. In fact, the case will not go nowhere. These actions have been perfected and we are seeing the repercussion. Cummings was just outlining that. Be a lawmaker, be a senator, representative, minister, director, superintendent, no one should be above the law. The law is the law. If you are accused, the court system needs to step in. The justice system needs to step in. Go through the process. If you are vindicated, then you have that white flag away. The former president of the free world today is being investigated, is going through the process. Why can't we do it? Or do we think LPR just everything just going to be automatic without us going through this a system where people will be held accountable or penalized because of their actions, of their doing? No pain, no gain. There is no successful revolution without a bloodshed. People will always put people to test. Yes, we're having a new incoming administration. People who think that they help this guy to come to leadership, they will start acting crazy, they will start doing some stupid thing, and they'll feel they will get away with it because they invested time and resources, so they think they're going to be above the law. And this is where people needs to be held responsible. We saw it in the last time around. I would say again, President George Weah used himself as a sacrificial lamb because people who he felt, they were all in the vanguard, in the trenches, and went through this hard process, so they must be politically rewarded. And we know that's how the game of politics works. It's all about deal. But guess what? Some of these people, they did not live up to the task, and he never wanted them to feel whatever bad or whatever it is. And he took those decisions, and yet some they're still crying, still living in the fantasy land, and still don't want it. This is the same kind of thing. You have leaders, you don't want to respect them, you don't listen to them, and you're gonna get worse. We must embrace it as it is. And if the media becomes selective, which is a greater interest of this national conversation. You get a group on the side, protect the other one. You get another group on the side, protect this other one. And the interest of the country is being put to the borderline. Then the country is in trouble. And that's exactly where we are today. We are responsible for our own behavior until we can start thinking like a normal being. It is a clear indication rehabilitation is needed in that country. It just came, enough money were pumped into the country, and people who are supposed to benefit, they benefited, and that's it. Country after war, the trauma is huge. It's not just about getting somebody from in the street, put them in the house, they eat, the next day they go. They need counseling. They need some treatment. They need to go through a process. It is not an overnight process because people's behavior is not normal, abnormal. It is not their own doing. It's some of the things that are worsening, some of the things that are seen. So it can't just go away. But the politicians and the elite, they have managed to suppress and keep these people down because the more they open the eyes of these people, the more they become civilized and they become to see the brightness of the country. But the politicians are taking advantage of this situation. They enrich themselves. And you, as a citizenry, some of you facilitate the behavior of these people to the extent that the one that you support, when he or she is doing it the wrong way, you say no. It was done yesterday that now you want to talk. So how will the country be fixed? We should be in this sort of visual war. Oh, it's a pain dead situation. NDP do it, So United Party will pay theirs. Okay, saying United Party do it, CDC will pay theirs. Saying CDC now do it, United Party coming down to they're going to pay there. We will not talk about the wrongs. That's not how a country builds. That's not how to reconstruct a country. People need to go to jail. People should be held accountable of their bad behaviors. Unfortunately, Africa or third world countries as a whole, bad people are rewarded. Bad people are rewarded. If you want to get quick stuff, just turn to some kind of bad man, do some sort of crazy thing. Steal, do anything. They don't care whether you are convicted. They will celebrate you. Even though they know it's wrong. Naturally, it's wrong. Because what you did, you endanger other people. You inflicted pains to other people. But because few people benefited from it, they say, yeah, that one not anything. And then you think you're going to have a fixed country. We have a long, long way to go. The men and women in this house is the first branch of government. They should be able to hold the executive, but they put themselves first, and you have the laws enforcer, you have some community where there's no police car. Policemen wearing one t-shirt going to work whole week, washing wear. I had the opportunity in Labrador, drove around. Some of them, not all, they are committed to duty. They wear that faded uniforms, you have citizenry surveilling people, insult them, cuss them up. Yet the people stood in rain and sun and serving their country. People eating, they throw that in the street and they'll come back and say the country is dirty. And yeah, you say you want to compare Liberia with Ghana, with La Cote d'Ivoire, with Senegal. You will never go to Senegal and do it. You will not even come here and just in the street finish eating your sugar dog and donut and just throw it in the street. You know what's going to happen to you. But we do this stupid thing, crazy thing, and people see us doing it, and other people do the worst. And we say we want to change the country. So it makes me to wonder, is it illegal or is a combination of both? We are all responsible. If you have honest men and women, responsible people who are approached in a responsible context, who understands the work of being a legislator, who understands the work of being a lawmaker. It's all about consensus building. It's nothing about United Party saying CDC, this and that. No. Just sit and talk about the future of the country. How the police can even combat crime when they are not equipped. But they arrive $50,000, $40,000. They have a huge convoy, and you have one patrol car for maybe 2-3 districts, and you expect them to be spontaneous when there is an emergency call. When you don't have even fire truck in each district, but you expect the one that's stationed Ashmore Street there to leave from Ashmore Street and go to Painesville or all the way to Ghana suburb. It's not possible. Until we can have these people who will put the interests of the country first, who will hold the executive branch accountable as it is enshrined in the Constitution as their full responsibility, then we have a normal and civilized society. Yes, don't get me wrong, they can cut deals. That's what politics is all about. But these guys are there, they eat until they act like a cockroach. They go into the oil barrel and then the legs go in the air, and then they know that, yes, it drank oil. And then they finish, they say the executive. You should be holding the executive branch of government responsible. You give yourself first instead of giving to the people. We saw what happened during the what about season? The ration among themselves and left the Liberian people in cold. You came back, and back then, because that's your own favorite, because he or she is part of your party, you say he is the best. I would say we want a vibrant society. Our prayers and thought goes out to the bereaved family, the people of Gwion, District Number 1, to the Republic of Liberia, to members of the first branch of government. And there's a vacuum again. There will be a by-election. The man just got re-elected. He didn't even take a seat. He was not even inducted into office. Resources already gone. I'm not going to hold responsible. I have no idea to what killing until the family decide to come up with a medical report. I'm not going to create a conspiracy. Other people, this one do this one do this. Well, they can connect all of the dots here and there, other contributing factors, but I'm not going to be a circumstantial in my conversation here this evening. But probably we'll talk much could have been done. And this is a kind of a wake-up call to all of the leaders, not just necessarily when you are in the House or to be a senator or representative. People should be able to, when you keep quiet, it's a solemn concerns. When people talk things about you and you can't come out or speak, address yourself to this issue. I'm not saying that not every little dick and tongue you're going to respond to, but there are some things when they talk about you, that stigma is there for a lifetime. You need to get up and address yourself. Do not just shove it on the raw. That's what we see happening now. Maybe, my guess, and we all have been hearing it, these things being in a quarter. And as a leader, things will come across your way. And sometimes when you see this sort of thing repeatedly, it's being in the public space over and over and over. Well, it's not a matter of a guilty conscience, but you can address yourself to it. And allow the people to ask the questions, let all of the apprehension be handled. But when you say people will talk and get tired, some people, they don't talk. Some people, they don't get tired. Their reactions become an outburst. Their reaction becomes a violence. Their reaction dangerous because of the perception that built up and up and up, and there was nothing done to quench that. Their outburst becomes violent. It becomes physical. And when something becomes more physical, it becomes dangerous. Let's assume Senator Zoe Emmanuel Pennon was vacationing in Gwion, and that sort of news broke out he was in that place. I mean, we're going to be talking about 2 dead lawmakers plus the other citizens who've been here, and I reportedly committed a suicide. We are not noted of managing crisis. So why can't we prevent it? If you can manage it, prevent it, avoid it from happening. Simple as it is. Simple. I hope I wish I was a close family member. Probably I to put this to a rest. I understand he passed in the hospital. Whether it's true or not, we yet to verify that information. I try to reach out to people that are close to him, like the COS, and I know it's a tough time. But I hope at some point in time they will come out publicly to speak so that people will know. And that would be good for himself so that he will rest in peace. What about the medical report says? That is important. But because people shield information, they make people to struggle to get information when they should be able to release those information. It's not happening. And that's going to leave another cloud hangs over our head. We need to be transparent. Until then, folks, Have a pleasant night. Our prayers and thoughts goes out to the family. Bye-bye. All right, well, folks, I want to thank you so much for your time this evening, and that's how we're going to go to carry and join me tomorrow with another edition of All Things Considered right here on the Diaspora Informative News Magazine, Liberia Public Radio. Unfortunately, it came here tonight with the sole purpose of us telling you what you want to hear. I cannot tell you, you are just misplaced. That is not a tradition of this network. We do not necessarily tell you what you want to hear, but we do tell you what you need to know. And I think that that's the conversation that is needed in that country. And we wholeheartedly appreciate you. Even though our talking point, our conversation does not go in a political direction, but you still have the courage to always be here. That's the greatness of you. The pink hair of the end of the week. See this guy? So what happened to him? When we start having this sort of system there, he was expelled. He was kicked out. Joyce Santos. When we start having a system of such, the first branch of government, people, they collect money from people, using campaign money wrongly, buying things for yourself, no accountability, taking money from donors, using the money. Your own party people, they're throwing out. Can that happen in Liberia? Can CDC president vote against CDC? Can United Party president vote against United Party? MDR? No. That's the difference. That's the distinctions of these people. They protect their country. They are willing to take a political risk, even at the detriment of the opposition to their job. And we saw that here with Congresswoman Liz Cheney. She knew her action will cause a political devastation for her. Adam Kissinger for Illinois. They knew, but they undo the philosophy of the party and put the interest of the country first and say America first. How many are those people able to sacrifice their political career for Unity Party, for CDC, for Liberty Party? Zero. Until we can see that sort of system, that sort of transformational change, where people will hold their own accountable of their behavior. We have people, lawmakers, were accused of millions of dollars of whatever the case, endless investigations. When they came back, they leave from one party, they go to another party, and we celebrate them, we think they are transformed. It's like riding the back of an alligator. Then tomorrow again, when they get involved, then you can't call them whatever name, you can't. You accommodated them, you compromised them, so you become a facilitator of their doing. They only buy guys when they are not with you, but they try and buy when they are no longer with you. That's how we do our justice system. We'll get there Sunday. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye. We will not get tired. The purpose of this whole thing here is to make us to get tired and to think that they can get away with it. We will not get tired. We'll continue to have these conversations. It is healthy. It is good for our country. We will accommodate diverse views. Diversity is the hallmark of this network. It doesn't matter which side you belong to, but your voices will always be heard. However, whatever you say on this network, you are or you will be here responsible. We just facilitate these hard conversations, but it doesn't mean you want to say anything and just go scot-free. You say it comes from your mouth. It is you that are responsible for it. Have a pleasant night. Bye-bye.